Yo, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to be giving my rankings for the endings of Cyberpunk's story. Before I talk about the endings, of course there will be major spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen all the endings yet and don't want to be spoiled, I'd recommend not watching this video until you are at least finished with the game. The theme of Cyberpunk has always been a dystopian future and where you can never really get what you want without the consequences. V's goal was to be the Legend of Night City, and trying to get this goal has extreme repercussions, and the story is based on that. After V takes the relic and ends up getting shot, he is pronounced dead until he is given a second shot as the relic ends up saving him. This ends up screwing up V, and where his consciousness is being overridden by Johnny Silverhand's digital soul. V must find a solution, and he doesn't have many options. This makes the situation very dire and reflects on how bad a dystopian future can really be, as everybody is trying to make it to the top. His situation makes it so that there is no perfect ending in the story, and is why most of the endings are either bad or bittersweet. V will be taken to a balcony and where he will make his final decision on how to stop dying from the relic, and this is where you will choose which ending based on V's decision. Now since I've explained some context, let's get started with the rankings. The fifth and worst ending in Cyberpunk, in my opinion, is the suicide ending. V ends up choosing could also just put this all to rest, and also chooses tosses pills, saying I know what we're going to do. In my opinion, this is by far the worst ending, as while he does solve his situation, he does it in the worst way. He also ends up hurting the people around him, including the character you romanced. If you romance Panem, she will tell you to rot in hell, and if you romance Judy as female V, she will be crying and extremely depressed. This ending really shows you the negatives of suicide and how it hurts the people around you. The fourth and second worst ending is the devil ending. For this ending, you end up helping Hanako Arasaka in exposing her brother. This ends up with V successfully removing Johnny Silverhand's consciousness with the help of Arasaka's top scientist. But working with Arasaka will end up with Johnny despising you, and that Arasaka will become even more powerful with this ending. The Secure Your Soul program becomes a smashing success, and Arasaka ends up at the peak of their power. V will also be told that no matter what, he will die in 6 months, as the relic has already screwed with his DNA. V accomplishes nothing with this ending, but that isn't the worst part. The worst part is how Arasaka's Secure Your Soul program becomes a success, and this makes it so the very rich and powerful become immortal and godlike in the cyberpunk world, and that includes Saburo Arasaka, who essentially became immortal. For number 3, the ending I think should be at this spot is Temperance. With this ending, V will storm Arasaka headquarters with either the Aldecaldos or with Rogue. V makes it to Mikoshi and chooses that he will give life to Johnny Silverhand so he can live out for the last 6 months. This is one of the more meh endings, as Johnny uses those last 6 months to go live out a quiet life. He also ends up ignoring all of V's contacts. Nothing necessarily is bad with this ending, but I just didn't feel very satisfied, as I really wanted V to live, but it does feel good seeing Johnny have good character development. For number 2, the ending I think should be at this spot is the Sun ending. To get this ending, V needs to do Johnny and Rogue side quests, and that he needs to choose the option think you and Rogue should go on the balcony. Johnny finishes what he started by raiding Arasaka headquarters and getting to Mikoshi with Rogue. This ends up with Rogue dying, but Johnny makes it to Mikoshi no matter what. If you choose V instead of letting Johnny keep the body, this will initiate the Sun ending. V ends up becoming the Legend of Night City as he always dreamed of, but he's still told that he will die in 6 months. V then goes to raid the Crystal Palace as a final option to save his life. In my opinion, this is one of the better endings in the game because at least V ends up accomplishing his dreams as a Legend of Night City. He also fulfills his promise to Jackie that he will make it to the big leagues. We don't know if V dies raiding the Crystal Palace, but if he does, the reward he may get might help him live longer than 6 months. The first and best ending you can obtain in Cyberpunk is the Star ending. In this ending, you leave Night City with the Aldecaldos after storming Arasaka headquarters with them and heading to Mikoshi. This ending, while the best, does have some major character deaths, such as Saul dying and some other Aldecaldos as well. V leaves with the Aldecaldos on a journey to Arizona, and Panem tells V that some of her contacts will supposedly help him live longer than 6 months. We don't know if V lives longer than 6 months, but if he doesn't, he will spend the time well with the Aldecaldos. If you are female V and romance Judy, she will also come with you, and it makes the ending that much better. This is the best ending in my opinion, as at least V will be happy and enjoy his last 6 months with the people he calls family, and there is also a chance that he may live depending on the contacts Panem finds. I also didn't include the secret ending as there's only small differences and doesn't change anything major, with the only difference being that Rogue will be alive in both the Sun and Temperance ending. This doesn't change either ending and the outcome is still the same. The endings of Cyberpunk are not perfect, but are a good showcase on how a dystopian world is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch y'all in a bit.